Here we go. Welcome on back to another stock market live stream. It is a Luigi day today. Things are a little bit happier today. Really, one thing we talked about this morning in the course live a little bit is the lack of catalysts that we really have between now and the beginning of March. Beginning of March, we'll be getting ADP on the 4th, challenger job cuts, and the BLS labor report between the 4th, 5th, and 6th. Let's see. Let me see this really quick. Okay, there we go. So those will be great catalysts, I believe, for actually kind of kickstarting or kicking this economy in the butt a little bit to actually get this thing moving again. I think there's a lot of disbelief that we could actually be rounding out on jobs and growing. I think there's a lot of belief that the numbers are entirely rigged, which is possible. And so I think watching that ADP report next month and sort of the weekly ADP data that we get, like what we got yesterday, the 10,250, plus what we get over the next few weeks, and then of course the February job numbers in about a couple weeks from ADP. Those will be a good little gut check. That ADP report. In fact, let me see if I could see right now what the forecast is on ADP. ADP's forecast, because this 130,000 from the BLS jobs was kind of, it was such an outlier. Nobody saw that coming. And if we go forward a month on the data set, we're really light on catalysts. Yeah, we got the potential Supreme Court decision on Friday, but who cares? We'll have ISM PMIs again on the 4th, but that's also when we'll get ADP. The last ADP report, we only got 22,000. Right now, there's no survey yet, so we still don't have an estimated set of data for what the February job numbers will look like. But I personally think if we can rebound that, I think we'll slowly actually see this recovery in whether software stocks or just the broader stock market, which I'm excited about. I do, continue to believe that there is a risk in being too exposed to debt in this sort of economy, just because we're so sensitive, right? If for some reason, for whatever reason, the market dives and we get a bunch of layoffs, we don't have the capacity for a lot of layoffs. There's no room for layoffs right now, which is bad. But that jobs report, BLS, if we can keep that trend going, that'd be great. Hopefully we can. We don't know if we can, but we hope we can. So we'll see. What we got today is we got a recovery of 607 here, which is pretty impressive. We actually went straight up. And look at that confirmation we even got at 607, which is pretty nice. So really like to see that. Looks like Sarah Eisen is interviewing the bros over here. Speaking of,
and it's really great to almost have this recognition where all of a sudden we start pushing an agenda. Our agenda was to modernize finance, to allow that to never, ever, ever happen to anybody again, and to really lead the way as America. I mean, look at the SWIFT wire transfer system. It's so broken. You can't send money. It's antiquated. It's costly. It's slow as hell. And crypto changes all of those things. It is the future of finance. We have to be leading in the United States of America, and this country is. And we have all the right people.
Sorry you had to sit through that for a moment. I just had to get my hat, to align with the title we've got here. Because after all, it's a me. So anyway, let's go explore a little bit and see what fun things are out there today. White collar joblessness rose in 2025. Look at that. U.S. economy creates plenty of wealth, but not many jobs. Right. This slow job expansion is very bizarre, and I would almost say historically unprecedented. Although we got industrial production numbers that came in higher than expected. Let's take a look at this. Was this, these matter a little less, but it is nice to see that manufacturing is recovering somewhat. It's been so bad. And look, yeah, that is the best since about February of 2025. That's not bad. And so who reported this? Let me see if I can pull the actual primary source here. So if we go to today, we got durables came in negative 1.4%, but better than the negative 2% survey. Transportation actually came in at 0.9, so that means really cars probably held that down. I see. Okay, so this was really our durable order stat. Okay, oh, here we go. There we go. Industrial production month over month, 0.7 versus 0.4. Nice. Capacity utilization, a little bit lower than expected at 76.2, but still decent. Nice. Okay, so manufacturing output, which accounts for 3/4 of industrial production, rose the most since February of 2025. The advance was broad and included strong gains in business, equipment, and consumer goods production. That's great. That's fantastic. Now, keep in mind, the ISMs and PMIs have told us in recent months that there is we've had a lack of inventory building. So manufacturing has kind of gone through this inventory shortage in warehouses and otherwise, which then suggests we should be getting some kind of manufacturing recovery. Now, unfortunately, that doesn't necessarily mean it's a good leading indicator, right? So let's write that down. Industrial production, and this was for January, right? Let's just verify. Industrial production, January. Yeah, all right. So let's write this down. Recall S&P and PMI's last 60 days have been flagging a lack of inventory buildup, suggesting a manufacturing rebound was on its way. Today, we see industrial production for January is up the most in since February. So this could be, therefore, this could be playing catch up versus a leading indicator. Either way, it does signal bullishness for orders, right? Especially since it's broad-based. Bloomberg calls it broad-based, including business equipment and consumer production. So I like that. It's not bad. It's not that useful, in my opinion, of a leading indicator, but especially, given what we've seen about this sort of lack of buildup. But this does suggest solid capital investment at the end of last year. Yes, it does. People got to get their tax benefits. Other reports have indicated manufacturing is poised to pick up this year. Output, blah, 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 blah. Okay, cool. I don't need to spend too much time on that. It's pretty more, what's it called? More nuanced data point, I'd call it. Yesterday, I was looking for, with course members, we were looking for an Apple rebound, by the way. I see that's up here on the tape for Bloomberg as sort of separating from the NASDAQ, because yesterday you had a little bit of a rougher, sort of U-turn on the NASDAQ. But on Apple, what you'll notice is yesterday morning, the reason I was bullish in my alpha report on Apple yesterday was because of the release of the Apple event, right? The iPhone 17e, the new MacBook Pros, the new Macs, right? We haven't had a Mac update in a while. So I was actually pretty excited that Apple could see a nice movement. And so we did see a nice movement on Apple yesterday, and that appears to be continuing today. Remember, Apple and Tesla, for that matter, both Apple and Tesla seem relatively insulated from this, software Armageddon. If you look at both Apple and Tesla, yes, while we're off highs, we're doing really well relative to software stocks that are down 50% in many cases, some of them even more than that, right? So this is great. This is fantastic. Amazon's free cash flow has been plummeting. We just did some analysis with on Amazon as well in the course member live stream. I also, in optimism for the market coming back, we didn't really have a good coupon expiration because I left town, and we haven't had a coupon expiration in like a month. So actually, it was since my birthday. It's been about 3.5 weeks, something like that. So the new coupon code is now coupon baby come back. And so we'll have a price increase on Friday, but if you want to join, you get all the 9 courses, every trade alert. I'll probably have a trade alert coming out today. Every private live stream, alpha, and all of the courses. You get everything here. So go check that out at meetkevin.com. The coupon is baby come back. Got to get the grain to come back in the market. But then you could join us in that live stream every morning and get that alpha report right where you want it in a PDF or a text file every morning. Some people like the PDF. Some people like the text. You know, it just depends. You get both. U.S. economy creates plenty of wealth, not many jobs. Fine. Let's go take a quick peek at that story. Jobless boom. Jobless boom tests the limits of U.S. expansion. Forecasters expect, 2.7% economic expansion this year. Okay, GDP. So Bloomberg says forecasters expect 2.7% expansion in 2025. I do want to also just put the little Apple Tesla note here. Apple Tesla seem so far resilient against software sell-off. Okay. We're 2.7. Employment barely grew. Combination is drawing comparisons to the infamous jobless recovery of the early 2000s that followed the tech bubble collapse. Oh, that's interesting. People comparing it to jobless recovery of early 2000s after the dot-com collapse. Now, that's interesting. Let's go see that. So, non-farm payrolls. Yeah, but you had this giant negative over here. I think it's probably a little too soon to tell. You know, I mean, let's blow this up a little bit and understand what they're saying a little bit. I mean, it seems early to call that because we're clearly still on this downtrend over here. But let's see what they're saying. Okay. Annotate. Let's get a nice little arrow cooking in here. Why? Why is it a clear arrow? I always do red. There we go. All right. So basically, what they're arguing is this was 2001, 2, 3. Okay. So this would have been the bottom of the market. I think it's worth aligning where the bottom was. Okay. This is when Fed money printer starts. Okay, right here. And that would be about March 2003. Okay. And then we have the money printer started in February of 2009, right? Fed money printer starts, Feb 2009. There we go. Okay. And then obviously here, you know, the money printer also started, and that would have been March of 2020. March 2020. Okay. So this is where you get the money printer, right? The money printer tends to generate jobs. The money printer creates jobs. Okay. So now, problem is, let's go with a different color here. Let's see here. Give me some text. And let's go with blue. Okay, perfect. The problem, we're nowhere close to the money printer, right? Bloomberg is telling us people think this will be like the jobless recovery starting in 2003. Okay. Problem is, what's different? Except we have no money printer this time. And it's not clear we've actually bottomed with jobs. All right. Let's put it right there. Also, not clear we've actually bottomed on jobs. Okay. So now let's go slap in an arrow. This one should be blue. Not that blue. There we go. Okay. There we go. So I see what they're saying. You know, they're looking at this boom in GDP right here with negative jobs. But this also started. Oh, I should also put the government bailout. The government bailout usually happens first. Let's do government bailout. Let's go with orange, right? We could go right here. That was like same as in 2008. It was in the third quarter. Q3 government stimulus. It always takes until the Fed to really get everything cranking. Oops. Nope. Cannot get this right today. There we go. Q3 gov bailout, which was very similar to right here. I'll make that a little smaller. There, we'll make both of those a little smaller because they tend to have a smaller impact anyway. There we go. All right. So, well, it is interesting because you do have that GDP growth that looks nice. Now it's real, so some of that could be because of a decline in inflation as well, which I think we'll see more of a decline of inflation. But I do think it's pretty clear that it's hard to say that for sure is this support line of the labor market, 0. But hence why I think next month's data will be quite useful. But I think that's a useful chart. All right. We'll call that the jobs chart versus GDP. Okay. Let's see what else we got. Divergence has never happened this far into expansion. Wow. That's interesting. That's an interesting line. We could actually slap that chart up. GDP to jobs gap. Largest divergence ever. That I believe. Okay. There we go. Now we got the little chart there too. Remember, if you want this chart, you could steal it from me. Just go on the Meet Kevin app. And you can click on it, expand it, whatever you want to do. It's free on the Meet Kevin app, bro. It didn't cost you anything, man. Okay? You don't have to join the courses to have the Meet Kevin app. You get the daily wealth every day too. That's fun. One major difference between then and now. 2000's episode kicked off with recession. This time, the jobless boom is happening without one. Marks the first in a post-war era. Aha. First time this divergence is happening without recession post-war. We've never seen anything later in an expansion like we are seeing today, and that's what makes it so unusual and hard to judge about where we're going. At the end of the day, we're sitting on a one-legged stool, which might not be the most stable place. I agree with that. I actually think that's a great way to put it. Like, we could just get blown over pretty easily. KPMG economist on a one-legged stool. How stable are we? Interesting. Trump, State of the Union, data out Wednesday, confirmed business investment. And to 2025 on a high note, manufacturing output rose in January. Trump and allies are urging the Federal Reserve to cut rates. Doubt we're going to get any rate cuts anytime soon with that January jobs data. Economy today is starting to look less like the one in the 90s than what came after, which then Bernanke identified on the jobless recovery. Much like the nationwide headcount flatlined in 2025, broad-based hiring pullback. Big focus on Bernanke's speech was the loss of manufacturing jobs, which had already been on decades-long decline, major blows from China. Between 01 and 05, the segment of the workforce employed in workforce and office roles experienced job losses of a similar scale to the tech boom. So kind of what we're seeing now, maybe with AI, huh? Well, maybe to some extent. Chief U.S. economist at Oxford drew a parallel. Caution that led to the jobless recovery in the early 2000s, or conditions that led to the jobless recovery in the early 2000s are aligning, such as overhiring, robust productivity growth, technological advances, increased policy uncertainty. This leaves the economy vulnerable to shocks because the labor market is the main firewall against a recession. Yeah. So I think that's a fair way to put it. It's like vulnerable but optimistic, right? Is the way to put it. Okay. 2000s episode, the pain of unemployment was spread across the spectrum, educational. This time it's college-educated Americans. Battle of AI, blah, blah, blah. Office workers, laid off from a job as a contractor in a call center. Helped military service members schedule mental health assessments. Handled after-hours calls from suicidal individuals. Now, they're looking for similar work, and it's been quite challenging. I'm sure it'd be really hard to get a job right now in the call center with, artificial intelligence, unfortunately. Okay. Biggest increase in unemployment in 2025, working in the office. Investors are reaping the benefits of the cost cutting. That's the thing. It's like margin expands, right? So, somebody says, you make money on ads on the Meet Kevin app. There are no ads on the Meet Kevin app. No, there are no ads there. I don't make any money from you. I'll just be transparent with you. My hope is that if you download the Meet Kevin app and you get all my news for free because it doesn't cost you anything, or you get my daily wealth every day, that you fall in love with Kevin and, buy the courses and invest in HouseHack in the future. There's no investment right now. That's it. So there's no ad. We're not selling your data. There's none of that. So I think that's a fair trade, right? And you don't have to. You're not committing to anything. But yeah, the Meet Kevin app, it's free on Android and Apple. Just type in Meet Kevin, and then you could customize the notifications the way you want them to. Like, Kevin, I don't care about the daily wealth, and you could turn off that notification if you don't want that. I usually send it at night. Right before you go to bed, you get the little daily wealth. Let's see here. Bloody, bloody, bloody. Okay, so we saw this. Unlike anything before, these are just little quotes from individual people, which matter less because they could be cherry-picked. Outlook is for continued steady economic growth, but some economists aren't optimistic that rising productivity can carry the U.S. economy if not passed on in the form of higher wages. That's something to look for. One economist warns, watch for labor wage growth to keep supporting the economy or not. Is there a short section in the cap? No. Yeah. Cool. I have the app. I appreciate all the info. It's just a lot you are providing us. Just thought you're gaining out of it. I'm gaining hope. That's all I'm gaining is hope. But I'm okay with that. We're playing the long game. Economic growth will be slowing significantly to reflect stagnant labor markets. Maybe. That's the other possibility is like, can the economy slow bleed? I'm going to write that down as sort of an opinion. Could this be the longest pending recession ever, where we, slow bleed the labor market over years, starting U-turn started in 2024 and it takes years. Who knows? It could be 2028. It could be 2029. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Dude, I don't know anything about Evercore. Evercore, Q4. All right, so what else do we have here? Hassett attacks the New York Fed for study on burden hitting U.S. Well, Hassett's an idiot. Okay, so I trust the Fed Bank of the New York way more than Kevin Hassett. So what did the study say? So I don't even care about what Kevin Hassett said because he has a job to dump on anything that's bad. Oh, look at that! Wow, what a surprise. What a shocker. U.S. firms paid nearly 90% of 2025 tariff cost, New York Fed study found. What a shocker. New York Fed. This roughly aligns with estimates last year from Goldman Sachs. So you kind of get a private fact check. New York Fed says about 94% of tariffs were passed through to U.S. firms and consumers in first 8 months of the year. 86% passed through by November. So average 90% pass through. I totally believe it. You ready for a hack? Here's a hack. My hack, buy refurbished products like vacuums, go-karts, etc. So I got like a Dyson vacuum refurbished and it was like massively less expensive than the new one. Same with a go-kart, massively less expensive. And I think it's because it's already stateside and you're avoiding the tariffs, right? Stateside and avoiding tariffs, maybe, right? It's just an interesting idea. Like I usually just buy new stuff, but like the wedge between new and refurb these days has gotten huge. It's crazy. Let's see here. Lib Day, blah, 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 blah. Okay, whatever. I mean, I don't need the researchers. Analyze the statistical approach. They compare 12-month changes, blah, 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 blah. That's how they did it. Okay, it's fine. We get it. And then Kevin's pissed. Okay, whatever. Moving on. OpenAI Anthropic deals power. No, their deals power Abu Dhabi's $1 billion AI bet. Got it. Okay. $10 billion annually. Anthropic says new AI model is better at using computers. Ooh. I think Claude's pretty good. Code, everything. Better at using people's computers in complicated ways. Sonnet 4.6, set to be rolled out on Tuesday, can carry out actions on a computer that require multiple steps, such as filling out forms and coordinating information across several browser tabs. Oh, that's brilliant. It's very useful. The model still lags behind most skilled humans. Right. So it's just going to be slower for now. But the rate of progress is remarkable nonetheless. Yeah. Yeah. Sure. I always get nervous about how much control these apps need over your computers, though. It's almost like you need to use like a special AI bot that doesn't have your info on it. Because you have to give them like endless permissions. All right. Carney. Brazil, fine. U.S. investors, gloomy on France, London. There. Evercore to explore sale. Firm Hollyport hires Evercore. Oh, no, they hire Evercore. Okay, I don't know. Somebody was asking about Evercore. I don't know anything about them. PE goes big on wealth advice firms. Ooh. Yeah, they want your 401k, and then Trump is going to use all that dry powder or enable all that dry powder to fly into AI. Offers advice on 401k retirement plans. Blah, blah, blah. Primary purpose is to try to infiltrate the retail marketplace. Monetize the 401. Yeah, exactly. They want to monetize people's 401ks. Yeah, totally get that. Yeah. Yeah, that's very interesting. All right. What else? Jackson, online shopping could be the next AI victim. Oh, no. Palantir moves to Miami. Saw that. Palo Alto. Oh, but they've recovered. They were down like 9% this morning. Let's see here. Nvidia sells off stake in ARM. What else? Google debuts $499 Pixel 10a just ahead of the iPhone 17e reveal. Yeah, I think, what is it, March 4th? Millennials melted their brain with screens. Their kids want none of it. What? Look at that. Hold on, but let me see. Oh, Pixel 10 shipments start on the 5th. That's a day after, I'm pretty sure, the Apple event. Smart. Okay, so what's this? Well, I'll just read this really quick. Dumb phone. Many parents, including those, are taking steps to limit their children's access to screens, some pledging to keep their kids off smartphones until 8th grade. Prefer physical experience. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Okay, whatever. I'm pretty sure kids still like iPads and phones. All right. Let's see here. What else have we? Gen Alpha is helping revive China's struggling malls. I remember the good old days at the mall. All right, SpaceX, dual class shares. Yeah, we talked about that before. Elon needs your money. All right, let's go to the info. Oh, did we lose 607 on the Qs? It's always at lunchtime. I'm going to have to take my hat off. Where are the Qs? The Qs-y-doos. Oh, no. Look at that. We're taking off. Oh, look at that double bounce. That's really nice. Yeah, look at that. Double bounce on 607. That's really optimistic, by the way. That's great. Tesla gained 414.50, which is great. Where's my other signal? I got Microsoft and AMD as other trade signals. Yeah, both of them. Both of them surpassed my trade signal. That's pretty bullish. It's 400 on Microsoft and 200 on AMD. Both of them were quite well below that this morning. I mean, AMD was down like 3.5%. So it's pretty good. Sonny writes, I miss smalls. Yes. Yes. Kevin, what do you think the next step towards AGI is? I think you really got to identify like what is AGI. Like, I don't actually think we're anywhere close to like actual consciousness of these AI things. But they're very useful. You know, they're extremely useful. And somebody who's really skilled at using AI can do a lot of damage. You know, like a quick tip, for example. You know, a lot of people, they'll take, 10 different PDF documents and throw them into one chat window. You'll find if you throw those 10 PDF documents into 10 different chat windows with no memory enabled, you'll get way better quality results. Free advice from me, Kevin. Okay, so let's see here. What does this mean? Could share money. What? In earnings? Anthropic expects to pay Amazon, Google, Microsoft at least $80 billion to run Claude. That's not the only way tech giants can make money from Anthropic. They get a cut of revenue if customers buy the AI. Oh, that's cute. Well, that'll be cool as long as it doesn't get commoditized. Okay. Pinterest calls code red amid AI threat. Now that's interesting. What's with everybody calling code red? Don't get tricked by fake continual learning. What does that even mean? Perplexity ends ads experiment. Oh, that's interesting. I want to see that. Sure. Yeah, I should. Okay, so Saudi Arabia Humane said invested $3 billion in XAI before the SpaceX merger. Wow, interesting. Anduril fundraiser shows defense stock red hot. OpenAI pays 20% to Microsoft, Anthropic. Okay, let's go into this. So Pinterest, what do we have here? For the past 3 years, Pinterest CEO appeared to have secured a second chance for This traffic, blah, blah, blah. Sales down even before the, okay, I just want to read the AI, this part here. What is this? So since January, Pinterest has initiated a series of code red projects to accelerate on existing features aimed at boosting key metrics like user and revenue growth. Blah, 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 blah. Pinterest has also been pushing staff to quickly incorporate AI tools. Okay, fine. Laid off part of their workforce. So what's the beef over here? Another factor that's weighed on revenue growth is that users don't check the app as often compared to other social media apps. Right, like, I think that the tough thing about an app like XAI is getting people to continuously open the app. You know, like if you use XAI, you know, you might be in this place where you just open it naturally every time you're bored. Or X, I guess, Twitter, right? And I don't think Pinterest really benefits from that. How do you get people to do that? That's hard. Now, I can see that. Okay, so what is this? New holy grail has emerged in the AI industry, continual learning. The promise of AIs that's able to learn from real-world experience the way humans do without having to undergo training processes. Yeah, I doubt that, because it's mostly, as soon as you escape pattern recognition, you get into hallucinations. Okay. Continual learning has come into focus in recent months. One of the most important unsolved research problems in AI has caused a lot of startups to orient their narratives and pitches around continual learning. Blah, 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 blah. OpenClaw helps them, blah, blah, blah. But having to refer to a notepad every time a model needs to remember something isn't exactly what people think of super intelligence, right? Blah, 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 blah. Okay. This is boring. Boring. Perplexity is no longer offering ads. The AI startup is pulling back from ads as it started showing its users ads in GPT conversations earlier this month. The company said it was worried that ads would undermine trust in the platform. Yeah, I agree. The challenge with ads is that the user would just start doubting everything. Yeah, totally agree with that. Totally agree. And that's why I think it's so dumb that GPT is trying to do this, but they need the money. They're running out. Wow. Wow. All right. Well, first ad experiment fails. Okay. What else? What else have we? How one investment firm is using AI because no care. Let's go to the FT, shall we? Lagarde, MAGA, well, we're going to embrace Europe's hard right, the truth about population decline, Trump administration, reverses move to block Moderna flu vaccine trial, Zuck to testify, social media trial, big deal, two-track economy in Cuba, some talks progress on peacefire, JPM plans, branch opening spree as peers bet on in-person banking. Oh, is this true? Are people going back to like the in-person, the physical? Multi-billion-dollar investment into a brick-and-mortar network that reflects a broader bet by U.S. banks on the enduring fondness of in-person banking. Really? It's like the opposite of the post-COVID, right? Wow. Wider trend in U.S. retail banking. Building branches and getting into markets is a critical part of deposit share. I see. Yeah, I mean, if you have a convenient bank nearby, I could see that. I still, Mercury, they're the ones that I like. Do I still have I still got that banking done right. That you can go to metkevin.com/bank or meetkevin.com/bank. They, it's an affiliate link, obviously, but I think you get some money if you sign up with it. But Mercury, they did this interesting thing. Their business banking is free. So like ACH, wires, everything's free. Then they came out with a personal banking product, but they wanted to charge $20 a month for it. I'm like, guys, this is dumb. Don't do this. This is dumb. So I just got an email from them this morning that, I don't know if this is for everybody or what, I hope it is, but I got an email from them this morning that they're going to make personal banking free if you have a free business account. So now you actually have a really good banking product, I think, at Mercury, because now you have the business banking side that's free and the personal banking side that's free. Kind of clutch. I was really happy when I saw that email this morning. It's, it's an affiliate link, but they didn't tell me to say that. I just saw the email and I'm like, oh, that's cool. Always want to be transparent. Trump advice. Okay, we saw that. That's boring. What do we got over here? We've got nothing. Oh, the FT's boring. Okay. And how are we holding on that 607 line? Looks good so far. Look at that. Right, double bounce on 607. Really glorious today. What a rally. You're even getting the infrastructure plays all rallying today. Pan W's recovering. Really good. Even Red Robin is back to a $60 million market cap company. That's crazy. Pull up. Do we still have that sound effect? We got this one.
Sync rate. Pull up.
There we go. Did that work? I don't know. I don't have my headphones in. All right. Let's go to the journal. Let's see what the journal has today. Hey, the coupon code is perfect right now because everything, like we made this coupon code called Daddy Come Back. And it's kind of perfect because now the market's coming back. Or Baby Come Back. Oh, it should be Daddy Come Back. Should it be Baby Come Back? It's Baby Come Back, like the song. I wonder if it's Daddy Come Back. Ooh, maybe it should be that. Anyway, I guess it's Baby Come Back. All right, so big tech is buying up land and home builders can't compete. Yeah, that's a problem. So that makes more unaffordable housing, which actually makes real estate even more valuable. What else? This was interesting. In New York, if the income tax doesn't go up statewide, Mamdani says he wants to raise property taxes. It's like 9 to 10% or something like that. That's an interesting strategy. Like in California, you have a limit on how high property taxes can go, so you can't have a mayor or a governor do that. But apparently you don't have that limit in New York. So that was a little surprising when I saw that. This is terrible. I've gone skiing out here, but this 9 skiers missing after it's an avalanche in Truckee that happened. I've gone skiing there a lot, but they went off the resort. So they were like backcountry stuff. They had some kind of tour or whatever going on. It's terrible though. It's quite scary. 9 people still missing. Ain't good. It's not good. Okay. So what else? Ace a job interview with AI. Wait, I kind of want to see this. Are they going to say, put and they've got that AI you can throw up on screen now to make it look like you're not cheating, but you're totally cheating. It's hilarious. Let me see if they reference that. Okay. Better get used to being interviewed by AI. Wow. AI video interviews. Candidates typically see a screen with a written question and their face in a camera frame. Sometimes the question will require a typed in or multi-choice response rather than a video answer. What does good customer service mean to you? What approach would you take to identify the root cause of a $100,000 variance during the consolidation of 3 international subsidiaries? You may have just one opportunity to re-record yourself. If you flub that, there's no taking it back. Jeez, man. Rehearse beforehand. Avoid keyword stuffing. Maintain eye contact. Executives from AI interview platforms say the systems don't generally score candidates based on eye contact or facial expressions, but since a human eventually will review your interview, career consultants and recruiters advise looking directly at the camera. Wow. Dress appropriately. Check your tech. Muffled audio is fatal. If the system can't transcribe you accurately, you get 0 on that question. Wow. That's actually quite interesting. Man, I don't know how I feel about getting interviewed by, how does this differ with interviewing? I don't know what that person's saying. That is quite fascinating. The AI interviewing, being interviewed by a bot, man, that's just got to be weird. And depressing. A little like 1984-ish, you know? So, all right. Let's see what else we got. Somebody says, never trust a tour guide when it comes to personal safety. Ouch. I completely rebuilt, updated, and curated my resume to my job interview in 15 minutes. Oh yeah, you could probably do that, you know, like adjust your resume to align with whomever you're being interviewed by. That's very interesting. Do I think Trump is going to stop the Netflix Warner Brothers deal? No, I don't. Yeah. Somebody says just type the questions into AI and read them. Yeah, I think that's probably, unfortunately, the worst thing you can do, because I think that's the default that everybody goes to. And then when you get that human person to review your interview, they're going to be like, why do I need to hire you? I'll just hire ChatGPT. Like I have fired people for not using a brain beyond AI. And then I have also not hired people for using a brain without AI. Like I have seen, you know, various different third-party contractors apply for jobs, and it's so obvious they just use AI. And I'm like, what do I need you for? If you're just going to use AI and copy and paste it and not even try to make it look like your own thing, what do I need you for? I already have AI. I need somebody with a brain on top of AI, right? So like, you're going to get a job. Yes, you should use AI, right? You shouldn't be a Luddite, but you should have enough of a brain to be able to question the results that artificial intelligence is giving you and then curate what you're ultimately looking for. Because again, otherwise, if you can't curate the results, what good are you? You're literally replaceable. Financialization of AI is just getting ready. Oh, what is this? So, same thing here. Somebody says, do you think a software developer is a dead job with Claude basically coding a fairly decent app? No, I actually don't. I think same thing. You need like a good developer using AI can be a great developer. You can't only use AI because then you'll have a run-of-the-mill product that anybody can do. You know, what matters for a differentiated product. Like we've got, you know, we work with, 9 software developers for the ReInvestAI, because we have a really big release coming up with, and the price is going to skyrocket when that release comes up. But we have a really big release coming up in the second quarter for the ReInvestAI, so the HouseHack AI. Here's our development phase. We're in the public beta access. Well, we're really in like alpha and beta access. We're like in the middle right here. In the second quarter, we're going to release our valuation AI. That's huge. And so we have 9 developers working on this. It's a lot of work. You know, like a good developer weaponizing AI is worth their weight in gold. Somebody only creating AI slop and not being there to adjust that final, like, even if it's just the final 3%, if somebody's not doing that, you just have AI slop. That last 3% is worth everything, in my opinion. You could also use the coupon code BABYCOMEBACK if you want to buy the lifetime access to the AI. I think once valuation AI comes out, that's when we're going to switch to like probably $299 a month or something like that. So if you want to get lifetime access for it, I feel like we're shooting ourselves in the foot a little bit selling lifetime access to the real estate AI because we only make money from you once. But then in fairness, like you guys are also like believing in me before the valuation AI even comes out. So I kind of feel like it's like fair game. like you win, I win. And then in the long term, as we sell, on a monthly basis, you look and you go, oh, I got my lifetime and everybody else is paying $200-300 a month or whatever. Well, that's the thank you for you, believing in the product before it was fully out. Anyway, okay, what is this? The financialization of artificial intelligence is just beginning. What are they talking about? Get ready for a new wave of securities, hedges, and collateral. Okay, this year, just 5 American tech companies are set to make $700 billion in CapEx. Right. Oil and gas industry invested $570 billion into exploration last year. Oh, wow, that's a great comparison. Because I always think about oil companies as like so capital intensive. It's crazy. Yeah, you have to be careful about like, these people saying things like, oh, I didn't write a single line of code myself. Or there's a lot of marketing going on X, and a lot of it can actually deceive people into installing, malicious software into their computers. And so and you know what? Phishing is getting really bad. Okay. I'm sorry, I go down these silly rabbit holes. We'll get back to that article there. But this was crazy how good they're getting. We literally opened escrow on a deal yesterday. Okay, crazy timing. So we opened escrow on a deal that we were buying yesterday, and I get this email, and I don't click links. Like I am brutal when it comes to not clicking links. Like people will send me links and be like, Kevin, here's a link to this picture of this problem I'm having. I'm sorry. You're going to have to use words to describe. I'm not doing it. So I got this. Now, this was very interesting to me. So I opened escrow on a deal yesterday, right? And it's a short close. And this is what the email looks like. Hi, everyone. For review, attached is the settlement statement for Thursday closing. First of all, the grammar is funky. See that extra space there, right there before the period? And then it should be apostrophe S, right? For review, attached is the settlement statement for Thursday's closing. But if you look at this at a glance, oh, HUD settlement. Oh, I want to click that. But wait a minute. We don't, on most transactions, we don't use HUDs anymore. So we don't call them a HUD settlement statement anymore. That's old school. That's like 2008, pre-Dodd-Frank stuff. We have the closing package from lender and are in great shape for 2 p.m. It's like, well, we're not even using a loan, so that's when I'm like, okay, hold on a sec. This is a phishing scam, isn't it? Then I look at the email. C. whatever at marie-leluc.fr. So it's like some French random email. I'm like, this is a total scam. Yet they're coming across as a realtor, with Better Homes and Gardens real estate. Whatever. Like, this is 100% a phishing scam, in my opinion. 100%. So, I don't click on any of this crap. But my point of saying this is they're getting good. Like, at a glance, when people are going through their phones and their email fast, these people are getting good at like just the timing of like, here's your settlement statement, just like the day after we open escrow on a deal. It's like, it would make sense to click on it. And then usually they have some kind of like, log in and give up your pass key or whatever. It's really dangerous. So just don't click links and you can't have a problem. You can't screw up if you don't click links, if you just go to things directly, but it's bad. So, oh yeah, I have a cybersecurity company. One popular phishing email now is, your name is in the Epstein files. Users are clicking. That's hilarious. Yeah, well, most people are, and I hate to say it, most people, I would guess 90% of people are going to fall for clicking on links. And you have to be so allergic to clicking on links to not fall for it. Like, I've gotten banking emails, refund emails, transaction emails that literally align with stuff that we're doing. And I'm not clicking in it. If I don't go to your website directly, I ain't clicking on it. I don't care if it takes me longer to solve the problem, I ain't doing it. Because there's just too much at risk if you lose access to your email. Anyway, yet in another sense, data, or at least chips, lag far behind oil. GPUs are a tiny fraction in financial markets. Blah, blah, blah. Practically no market for GPU derivatives. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, that'll be crazy if they get into GPU derivatives. Fintech aims to launch a market for compute. Yeah, that's not going to be a bubble. Derivative contracts that play out if prices fall on GPUs. Oh my goodness. Sonny says, is the tokenization of real estate legit? There's really no difference. Let me give it to you straight, okay? There's really no difference between a token and a share. Both have to be registered by the SEC. It's just really where it sits, right? A token sits on blockchain, but it has to be dual registered as a share anyway to sit on some, transfer agent's ledger, basically, which is like a spreadsheet. So there's really no problem with tokenizing things. The problem is most of the time when people do tokens, the underlying value, I think, gets distorted. So look at it this way. Like, if somebody comes to you and says, hey, Walter, I'm going to sell you 1% of a $500,000 house, okay? 1% of a $500,000 house, you as an investor, you should know that's worth $5,000. But instead, what the scam is, in my opinion, is people are going and saying, hey, buy slices, buy tokens of this real estate, only $10,000 per token. And then in fine print, it represents 1% of a 500K house. And now all of a sudden it's like, well, that means you're paying $1 million. You're paying, 2x basically in that example. So you really have to understand the fine print and the details of it when you're getting into the token stuff. So like, are tokens a scam? No. Can they trick people? Absolutely. Absolutely. Kevin, I've been a member since you first sold the real estate course. I would like to buy all access. Do members get a discount? Yeah. Just email us at staff@meetkevin.com and we'll take care of you. That goes for anybody. If you're an existing member, just email us staff@meetkevin.com.
Email staff@meetkevin.com. Coupon linked below. Data dependent.
All right. Where were we? Oh, I think we were here.
I think that Kevin's a brilliant guy, and I think that we'd all be very lucky to have him.
All right, whatever. This is dumb. Let's see. Is there a place to report this kind of fraud? I think you're talking about the phishing fraud. Not really. I mean, I do think like Google has an email. I think it's like phishing@google.com or whatever. But I think they're so inundated. I don't think it matters. I think you just need to hit mark as spam and move on. Although you'll go crazy trying to report how much of a scam there is out there. Like, that's why I hate Discord. Discord's very dangerous. And so, in the Meet Kevin app, we did a little community tab instead because if we can control that and there are no because what'll happen is like these people from, different parts of the world, they'll download all the users in a Discord and they'll message them impersonating the owner of that Discord. Like, I'm Graham Stephan. Hey, I'm going to build a relationship with you. And then they try to extort you for lots of money. They do it with me, whatever. They do it with a lot of people. Robinhood state is coming for the rich. What does this mean? Take from the rich and give to the poor? Inequality is growing, blah, 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 blah. Yet there's much less notice. The countervailing trend as pre-tax incomes have become more unequal, tax codes have become more progressive. Okay, whatever. All right, let's see. What else have we? Addicted to your phone? Try bricking it. I see more and more articles like that. Should you rent or buy? If you're gonna, it depends how much you're gonna finance. In a lot of markets, I think it makes sense to rent. In a lot of markets, cheaper to buy, cheaper to rent. Yeah, what a surprise! Look at that, Utah. Everything over here, pretty much cheaper to rent. I agree. Here's Wasatch County. Renting is 1.9x cheaper than buying. Yeah, I totally agree. They're comparing it to mortgages. Same thing in California, 1.2. Los Angeles, 1.5. Kern, Santa Barbara, 1.4, 1.3. Palm Beach, buying is a little cheaper. Oh, that's interesting. Look at this southern area. It's actually cheaper to buy. Yeah, because they had a price correction. You know, a lot of this southern belt actually had a price correction. So that doesn't really surprise me. That's quite a nice graphic. Fancy graphics, huh? But again, they're comparing to mortgages. Let's see here. Let's see. What else? Nope. All right, let's try the times. Boring. Somebody writes Discord blows, yeah. Hey, look at that. I mean, we're holding on top of this line right now, which is pretty nice. Really sitting on top of 607, holding on to 608 level. That Tesla's barely holding on to its line. And if I take a peek at MSFT, they're holding the line. AMD's holding as well. A lot of holding today, which is good. What did I get, Lauren, for Valentine's Day? You know, we actually don't do gifts for each other, like scheduled gifts. So, like, I know this sounds crazy, but like birthday, Christmas, Valentine's Day, any kind of like scheduled gift, we don't do it with each other. Instead, we'll do like, you know, little random surprises whenever we feel like it, because we found that the stress of like, oh, this upcoming holiday, what if I get something they don't like, or like, you know, what do they actually really need that they haven't already bought? We actually found it just created more stress for our relationship, constantly trying to gift buy. I mean, like, think about it. Like, first of all, I refuse to do any gifts. Like, I can't do it. Like, I'm a very bad gift buyer. So I like experiences. I'd rather invite somebody to a, you know, awesome dinner or on a trip or whatever than try to figure out gifts. I can't do gifts. So Lauren does gifts for, you know, kids and other people and stuff like that. But for each other, we just cut that out. Like, there's no point. We share the gift of time. But there's so many reasons. Oh, your wedding anniversary, your, you know, relationship anniversary, Valentine's Day, birthdays, so many, Mother's Day, Father's Day. It's too much, man. I can't. No, I don't have the patience for that, man. I got a job to do. Sorry, that's a little rant. So let's see here. AI disruption we've been waiting for has arrived. Oh, really? There's really nothing fun going on right here. Let's see. Compromise talk, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, there's really very little going on. All right. Somebody says get her flowers, huge ROI. Yeah, there's actually a negative ROI. Lauren is allergic to flowers. So I give Lauren flowers. She gets like, you know, she'll break out and be like, you asshole. So that doesn't work either. So instead what I do is I'll like grow marigolds and I'll plant them by the front door. She does like that. So AI tool, tap, load it in a database, make it searchable, website title, blah, blah, blah. A few minutes, I get to see all my work my coding agent has done. If I type fast enough, I could issue another prompt. By the time I get home, a little project tends to be done. A website, a feature in a music app, a search tool, or some tiny gain. It's called vibe coding, coined by Karpathy. Software prompts, blah, blah, blah. Blah, 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 blah. Now a bot can run for a full hour and make a whole designed website and app. Yeah, I mean, it's fine. for plenty of things. It's very useful. According to market, answer is no. Software stocks have lost trillions. This is true. Why will anybody need legacy software when AI could do it? Personally, this all feels premature, but markets aren't subtle thinkers, and I get it. I agree with this so far. When you look at a large language model slice through some horrible, expensive problem like migrating data from an old to a modern one, you feel the earth shifting. Blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. The last price, let's see here, blah, blah, blah. Let me get to the point here. $200 a month plan with Claude. Yep. Some companies think AI will create tons of jobs. Is software I'm making for myself on my phone as good as a handcrafted bespoke code? No, but it's immediate and cheap. And the quantities measured in lines of text are large. It might fail a company's quality text, but it would meet an everyday deadline. Yeah, that's what makes AI coding such a shock to the system. I agree with that. Just that like desktop productivity. I agree with that. Mm-hmm. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. What if all the expensive bureaucracy around coding to determine what a product ships goes poof? That doesn't mean software will be good, but most software today is not good. It simply means that products could go to the market very quickly. Yeah, I agree. But they need to be good products. A lot of users, it's going to be fine. They don't judge the AI code, vibe code, blah, blah, blah. Excited developers, successful coding, open source, blah, 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 blah. So what's their bottom line here? Spent the last few years to build AI software platform, helping clients navigate. It sounds like the perfect job for the moment. No, every 6 months, some new AI bomb goes off in our industry, and we have to metabolize the change, reset our product, change strategy and marketing, and adapt at a great expense. Our roadmap gets pushed back as a result of all this progress, and everyone is fried. That's what I love about real estate, man. There's like nobody competing in real estate. I honestly think real estate is like shooting fish in a barrel. I freaking love it. Because people don't like physical. You know, it's hard. Renovating, building, it's a pain in the freaking butt. You know, I mean, I have some video here. Sure I do. Just an example, because we're touring homes with these builders. And I mean, understanding all of the details, whether, you know, what kind of tongue and groove lumber, what's the highest ROI, wood windows painted black with aluminum cladding on the outside versus aluminum throughout for a thinner profile. What about ACM and the fire risk from the London Tower fire? You know, ski and ski out lots. What about, whatever, the designs, the locations, whatever. It's, you know, do you want concealed hinges in your doors? It's really incredible. This HouseHack's building a few spec homes. So it's, you know, it's a lot. That's why people hate building, but I love it. Let's see here. Industries range. Let's see here. Blah, 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 blah. Racist AI slop on Grok. No breaks. I am annoyingly excited. Is that... Okay, so what's their point? Here we go. I believe there are millions, maybe billions of software products that don't exist but should. Dashboards, reports, apps, project trackers, countless others. People want things to do their jobs or help others, but they can't find the budget. They make a spreadsheet with to-do lists. My industry is famous for saying no or selling you something you really don't need. We have earned a reputation of tiresome, blah, blah, blah. I still don't understand. The simple truth is I am less valuable than I used to be. Oh, this is as a programmer. It stings to be made obsolete, but it's fun to code on the train too. And if this technology keeps improving, then everybody who tells me how hard it is to make a report, place an order, upgrade an app, or update a record, they could get the software they deserve too. That might be a good trade long term. Okay, so the guy's basically bullish on AI overall, but less bullish on himself. Blah, 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 blah. All right. Whatever. All right. What else? Real Estate Frank says he loves real estate too. Brandon says he loves real estate too. Who's going to rent from you if everyone loses their job? Well, in history, we've never been in a situation where everybody has lost their job. New jobs are created. You know, people come and go. You know, even at the height of unemployment and recessions, you're at like what? I mean, in a depression, you were at like 28% unemployment, but in the Great Recession, we were at like 11% unemployment. And that was after the recession, mind you. Like, we were already in recovery when we hit 11% unemployment. So, you know, that means 90% of people who are in the labor force have a job, right? That's 9 out of 10 people in the labor force, even through a bad recession, have a job, right? So this idea that everybody is going to lose their job is insane. It's just, even if you go back to the Great Depression, 7 out of 10 people still had a job. A recession is just a reduction in growth for a short period of time, generally. Okay. More and more people have visited Epstein's Island. Your name is in the Epstein files. Oh no. Oh no. All right. Anything else? It's getting a little boring today. I have to go read what the institutions are up to in a moment. Iran negotiated, prepares for war. Well, that's interesting because, you know, we keep getting this branding that things are going good with the negotiations. Let's see if I have anything from Reuters. No, there's really nothing right now. Christine Lagarde is going to leave the ECB by the end of the year. That's interesting. Frissenkohl, no. Zelensky, Geneva. This is all about Ukraine. Rubio has been holding secret talks with Cuba's Raul Castro. Oh, that's interesting. You know, it could actually be interesting is if we go to Axios. Trump moves closer to a major war with Iran. We need a report of who did not visit Epstein Island. Yeah. Pokemon? Dude, let's do a Pokemon and then we'll read this because this is also interesting. All right, here we go. Let's get a pack here. All right. Let's rip one, boys and girls. Boys and 2 girls. All right. Get that pack open. Richard Clarida. All right. Let's chuck that away. I don't know on Astral Radiance how many. I think it's 3. So I probably screwed that up, but let's see what we got. Okay. Yeah, I'm sure I screwed this up. I didn't start at the energy. All right, so we screwed it up. See if we get anything on today's rip. That's a cute little card. I think I did pretty well with the 3, actually. Okay, reverse holo and nothing. Dude, it's not even a holo. That's crazy. Wow. My star card was not even a holo. What a scam. That's like the worst pack I've opened yet. Thank you, Pokemon. 30% of that money goes to Nintendo, so you could always buy Nintendo stock. And yeah. Let's see. Okay. Trump administration is closer to major war than most Americans realize. It could begin soon. Wrecked. They watching you. Okay, that's it. That's it. We gotta pump the stock. Like a gambler. One more. Just one more. I did actually get 2. One more. Ugh. All right. That one's trash. So let's try 2. Let's bring 2 out from the back. Nope, I screwed it up. Oh, then maybe it's 4. 1, 2. There we go. It's 4. Astral Radiance, you have to bring 4. So we start with the energy. All right, here we go. Trainer. Nothing. Gusty pickaxe. That's cool. All right. No, I got that one in the last pack. Okay, here we go. Said I don't have any other packs on my desk, so this is it. That's the reverse holo, and dude, again, nothing. Not even a full holo. Oh, this pack is rigged. Maybe it's like reseal. Wow. 2 times in a row. All right, we're done. U.S. military operation in Iran would likely be massive, weeks-long campaign that would look more like a full-fledged war than last month's pinpoint operation. Right. Sources noted it would likely be a joint Israeli-U.S. campaign, much broader in scope and more existential for the regime. They're going to wipe him out. Better stay away from the casino with that luck. I know, right? That's all right. I'm having a lot of luck with HouseHack. We got some pretty sick deals, and I if I get more bad luck out on Pokemon, maybe the offer that we have out there right now will also work out. And so I think we're pretty excited. So you can't get luck everywhere. 12-day war, blah blah blah. Such a war, dramatic influence on the entire region. Breaking it down. Nuclear talks paired with a massive military buildup. By delaying and bringing much force to bear, Trump has raised expectation for what an operation will look like if a deal can't be reached. And right now, a deal does not look likely. Uh-oh. Trump advisors, Jared Kushner, Steve Witkoff, met with Iran's foreign minister for 3 hours in Geneva. Well, both sides and talks made progress. Where'd you send it? Oh, we'll have to check the mail. Thanks, Brandon. We just got back from like 5 days out of town, so I don't think we got in the mail yet. Let's see. Made progress. Both sides say there was progress made. Went well, but in the other way, it was very clear the president has some red lines that the Iranians are not actually willing to acknowledge and work through. Vance made it very clear that while Trump wants a deal, he could determine that diplomacy has reached its natural end. Yeah, more than 150 military cargo flights have moved weapons and systems to the Middle East. Bro, we're about to clean them up. Yikes. 50 fighter jets, F-35s, F-22s, F-16s headed for the region. Oh, wow, that's awesome, Brandon. Oh, that's crazy. I'll go get the mail from the P.O. box. Thank you. Yeah, somebody sent me these like energy things as well the other day. That was nice. So the standoff between Iran has gone on so long that many Americans are likely numb to it. Right. War could come sooner and be bigger than most recognize. Wow. In just the past 24 hours, another 50 fighter jets headed to the regions. Wow, this is going to be nuts. Israeli government wants regime change. Totally understandable. Well, because Iran keeps funding terrorist proxies, right? And that actually makes the reconstruction of Gaza more difficult. Get Max to open them, you'll have a winner. That's true. Dude, Max or Lauren, they have the luck. I'll literally open 3 packs, get nothing, hand Lauren one and go, Lauren, put your luck on this. Boom, $30 card. $60 card. Like, she's done it over and over again. It's scary. I think there are memes about that. %90 chance we see some kind of kinetic action in the next few weeks. Kinetic action is what they're calling it. Telephone road. Yeah, it is. Yeah, our P.O. box is telephone road. Anybody can use that. 9. Let me write it down. 9452. What is it? Yeah. Here. This is our P.O. box. I'm not asking for people to send stuff, but if people wanted to send stuff, that's our P.O. box. Should we, like a compulsive gambler, open one more? I'm going to go to a different box, though. Let's do it. Like a true D-gen. We're going to go for Mega Evolutions, Phantasmal Flames. Okay. Zit. And then we'll look at the market again here. Oh, this one actually feels sealed. Ah, nice. This one I'm pretty sure is 1, and then let's call it fire on the energy. Nope, but that's okay. All right. Jiggly, dude, I've gotten like 50 of these Jigglypuffs. Gloom, Charmander. I'm pretty sure I have another Charmander right here. I do. It's like I'm tired of getting Charmanders. Look at that. Charmanders. Where am I going to put all these loser cards? All right. I'm optimistic. Okay, reverse holo. All right, and second reverse holo, and nothing. Just stop, Kevin. Just stop. Just stop right now. Go. That's it. I'm gonna go buy some options instead in the stock market. I have better luck there. All right. So where were we? So I think I'm just gonna leave and cry now. Actually, no. This is actually very interesting, by the way. There's no evidence a diplomatic breakthrough is on the horizon, but there's more and more evidence that war is imminent. It's actually kind of crazy. Girl number 2 here. Been watching since the COVID stimulus days. I'm now a millionaire. Let's go. Have a 1-year-old and another on the way. Oh, congratulations. Might be in the minority of the viewer demographic. Pregnant girl millionaire. Man, that's top right here. That's awesome. Good for you. Congrats. Thanks for watching. All right. So this will create some anxiety for markets. I would actually guess that, if you end up having this war breakout with Iran, it could actually help boost gold and oil again. I wonder if there's any anticipation there. So if I go to gold's back over 5, silver's still at 77, and if I look at oil, yeah, actually, look at that. Oil is already starting to rise. We're almost at $70 on Brent. Played RuneScape lately? No. I have not been able to play video games other than the occasional Mario Party with family. I've not been able to touch a video game since about August. We have been buried at HouseHack. It's also why I've been posting less. It's just been buried. But we're like, the light is at the end of the tunnel. We got a lot of work done that we needed to get done. So it's very exciting. Bonds, 10 years at 4.07. And the 10-2 is at 62. It's not bad. I do wonder if there's some safe haven buying in anticipation of war. I actually think that could be possible here. Bonds as a safe haven move, oil up, and gold up. The market might actually be sussing out war more than people are talking about. And usually geopolitical issues are a buy the dip for the stock market, by the way. Generally. So if there's war with Iran, it's historically, it'll create uncertainty and panic, but it's actually usually good for buying stocks. And I mean, there are plenty of dips to buy. I don't particularly see a deal on a lot of hardware plays. I don't think Tesla is a deal. I think Tesla is very expensive. I think Apple is, well, let me tell you. I'll just go to the Meet Kevin app. Let me look at where Apple's peg is. So if I go to the stocks tab, which you get if you are a course member, Apple's a 3.4 peg. It's like 30% overvalued right now. Tesla, so if I scroll to Tesla, I've got Tesla at a 6 peg, dude. Well, 5.9 peg. That's crazy. Whereas a company that's left for dead right now is trading for a 0.6 peg. 1/10 of the valuation of Tesla is Upwork. Now, I know people are like, oh, who needs jobs with AI, right? But what's actually really interesting is if you read their earnings calls, you find that people larger contracts are growing on Upwork, and smaller contracts got replaced by AI, which is very interesting. I don't know. What's another one? Robinhood's come down 50%. Hood's come down 50%, and they sit at 3.7 on a PEG ratio. I've got Microsoft at a 1.48. That's cheap. ServiceNow, 1.62. That's cheap. Roblox is at a 2. SanDisk is at a 5.5, which is stupid. Taiwan Semi is actually only at a 1.14, which is cheap. Wealthfront, holy smokes, 0.36 PEG. But they cratered after their IPO. I mean, actually, they've started recovering. Oh, look at that. Wealthfront has finally started to recover. That's very interesting. That is very cheap, boy. So, I mean, I think there are deals out there. Netflix sits at... And these are based on sort of my analysis and breakdowns. 2.1 PEG. So it's not like really cheap, but that's because people are writing down their earnings because of the Warner Brothers deal, which I actually think is great. Path trades for about 1.26. It's pretty cheap. Yeah. So very interesting. Anyway, Microsoft, Amazon, we actually just did an analysis this morning in the course member live stream. And the cool thing is you could just if you don't want to watch the whole live stream, the course member live stream, we're going to do the analysis. You could just open the stock app and in the Meet Kevin app as a course member. Then you get all the details with the annotated financial tables. So it'll take you 30 seconds to catch up. I give you the KPEG, the valuation. I'll just tell you it's a 1.5 PEG right now. Wall Street has a 16.1% growth forecast. I'm at a 15% growth forecast on it because of margin compression. I break down where the margin compression is happening. And then I link the PDF too to the actual earnings call if you want that. So remember, what's the coupon code? Baby come back. Baby come back. Over at beatkevin.com or househack.com. But anyway, I'm going to go, I don't know what I'm going to go do. Work, I guess. So I'll see y'all on the next one. I love y'all. Thanks for being here. Goodbye and good luck.
Kevin's somebody we'd consider. Kevin is fantastic, too.
Kevin is very talented, but I don't know if it's going to be him, but he's a very talented guy.
I think that Kevin's a brilliant guy, and I think that we'd all be very lucky to have him.